to the Ark-La-Tex Gazette. My name is Travis Wilson. I am your host. Today, our special guest is Demarkus Webb, founder and director of Rise. Mr. Demarkus Webb here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Travis.
Nice to have you, sir.
Nice to be here.
So, Mr. Demarkus, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from, the narrative, what you're doing right now.
Very simple. Born and raised right here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Went to Woodlawn High School, Grambling State University. Proud husband, dad of 4 kids.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Demarkus, tell us about Rise.
Rise Shreveport. Rise Shreveport is a local nonprofit 501c3 organization. We started the work back in 2012. We actually received the credentials in 2016.
Okay.
RISE is the acronym for Resilient Individuals Striving for Excellence. We're all about building healthy communities. Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you said we, that means a counterpart. Who's that?
Well, when I think about RISE, I think about my family. We are RISE. So you think about building healthy community. I'll go ahead and just kind of jump into our flagship program, which deal with the 5 core concepts of being healthy holistically.
Okay.
Physical, mental, spiritual, financial, and emotional. And these are things that I know I can speak for myself right now, the Webb family, that we have experienced. We have experienced physical and mental and financial and emotional and spiritual health. And so we know how important those things are to ensure that we're balancing life out.
Okay.
So yes, sir.
Now, where did this brainchild come about? How did it come about?
So honestly, I used to work out at T&T Body Camp some time ago.
Okay.
Myself and Taryn Graham was doing some of these works. And I will say this, it's kind of amazing how God works and how he puts things before you that you don't even realize. When doing this at some point in time, I used to work at Willis Knighton Medical Center. I have a degree in computer science. Did that 17 years. And so was doing IT work and was working out. Have a security guard company, and we're doing the work of a nonprofit. And I recall stating that at some point, everybody's going to be working, and I'm going to be the person, left to run these businesses.
Okay.
Not even knowing what that meant at that point in time, but of course, that happened. And so we developed Project Get Healthy, which we just talked about, just being healthy holistically. And at some point, maybe right before COVID, I was, Facebook is wonderful for memories. God had placed into me fighting for you. And so I see when I look at my stories where I'm saying you got to fight for yourself Webb, which brings me to our next point. Fight for You is our biggest movement right now. We welcome everybody to join in, no matter your age, no matter your ethnicity. Fighting for You is something important that can resonate with any and every single person. It's our biggest platform, it's our biggest image. We want people to realize it because people, first of all, they suffer in silence.
Okay.
One of the things I realized, and I can say this now because I understand healing, I understand coping, I understand processing, it's depression. I never understood depression until I personally went through those things.
Okay.
So,
if I may interject, what is the sole premise of fighting for you? What is the sole purpose and premise of that?
that can be debatable.
Okay.
It can be debatable, but the end result is you being healthy, and you being well. Let's say well,
Okay.
Being able to practice longevity for yourself. Unfortunately, life happens.
Okay.
So whether you're diagnosed with some type of disease, whether you lose a limb, unfortunately, you can't control those things, but you can control how you process, how you cope, and how you live once those things happen to you. So fighting for you would be pretty much processing whatever situation I'm going through. What does it mean for me to stay here and ensure wellness?
Okay. So what kind of educational programs do you have to assist your clients in obtaining their goals?
Well,
with this particular platform,
right. So what I find, especially within the African American community, we're not comfortable having uncomfortable conversations.
Okay.
We're not comfortable in a meeting when something's wrong. So one of the things that I learned is we have a workout with Rise on Wednesdays and Saturdays. It's free. It's physical exercise.
Okay.
And so that helps to decrease anxiety, it helps to decrease stress, and it helps to open you up to communicate. And so you come in there and you may feel challenged and say, I can't do this or I can't do this. But what it does is it helps to have a conversation and say, thank you so much. I needed this, or helped me to sleep better, or hey, the next time, hey, I've been having these medical issues, X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And so it's a great way for people to, first of all, feel relaxed, and then we serve as a resource to help people to get the needed help they need. If I can help you yourself, I can say I have a doctor friend, or I have a business friend that I can, refer you to ensure you get the needed help.
Okay, and I like to piggyback off the point of exercising. Me, I suffer from PTSD. I'm gonna go for a veteran. I suffer from PTSD and anxiety as well. And physical interaction every day is a necessity for me
Mm-hmm.
to keep my balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I can truly attest that really does work. And
Yes, sir.
people should, I'm not ashamed to talk about my issues.
Right.
I've suffered
Right.
for decades.
Right.
And everything, but physical exercise helps me have my balance.
Yes.
So I can truly attest to that.
Right. And a lot of times people don't want to be uncomfortable. It hurts. Or I'm tired, or I can't find the time to do it. But you are the best prize. You're the best gift that you have for yourself. And so if you don't have enough, courage and love for yourself,
A
then you
motivation.
can. Right. You can't expect no one else to do that. So again, fighting for you is teaching you that I am important. I do matter, and I love myself. So I always want the best for myself. We say this all the time, but do we actually put those things in practice? Do we actually practice those things?
It sounds good as a mantra, but really it's just an empty one at that.
Right.
Because I've been guilty,
Right.
of that myself many times,
Right.
But you just got to buckle down. What is the main reasons why clients come to you and they use your services?
Well, I think I like to say personally, I think I'm relatable.
Okay.
Because I have gone through things in life, and like you stated, I'm not necessarily afraid to talk about my issues. I also open up to let you feel comfortable to tell me maybe your issues. Also, we have these free workouts where you can come be yourself. You can roll your eyes. You can curse. You can say thank you. And so we create a dynamic atmosphere that you can be yourself. You can feel comfortable, and even though it may be a little bit difficult, you feel challenged. You come back and say, I really enjoyed these things. But also, again, as I stated earlier, we are a resource for people. But now I can meet people of similar backgrounds or
Okay.
similar mindsets. Or she's struggling too, or he's struggling too, or they got better, or they lost weight. So now I'm relatable. I have somebody that I can relate to that has encouraged me. It's almost like church in the Baptist church.
Okay.
You give a testimony.
Yep.
Now I can see a personal testimony right here beside me, and we grow together. And so again, it's not about having to do it by yourself if you don't have to. Things work a lot better if you can have an accountability partner. So we're teaching people as a resource what it means, again, to fight for you. Whether you can do it by yourself, whether you can do it with you and I, or 50 people, whatever it takes for you, we're here to help you do those things.
Now, see, that's a hard thing to find nowadays, is an authentic partner
Yes.
to help you out of the trenches.
Yes.
Me being a soldier, I was blessed to have those who were in dire situation like I was.
Mhm.
Bullets flying, you didn't know what was going to happen and everything.
Right.
And then when you make it out and you come back to the civilian life, nobody can understand you.
Right.
And that's where I always had to fall back on my brothers in arms and
Right.
everything, because it's hard to find somebody out there who is really authentic by helping you get to a position where you are healthy, your mindset, your mentality, your physical well-being and everything.
Right.
And that being said, you got to give me a little more clarity, because coming from IT to doing this holistic wellness and everything, you got to give me a little more background on that.
It kind of goes back, when it started there, what you just stated. Being able to be relatable to somebody. My personal experience, again, from the spiritual realm is sometimes God has already for everybody, He's predestined you to be somebody and or something.
I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that.
But tapping into those things, tapping into those things and not losing yourself, not losing your identity, and always keeping that close relationship with God. I can say personally that, I struggled with that at some point in time. With depression and life not happening, I was kind of confused. But in the midst of my depression, in the midst of my sadness, God always told me, I had you. I got you, So if I could do it all over again, potentially I would have did a different route. But God used all my experiences to help shape and fold me to be the person I am today. So in my head, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be an IT analyst. Those things I stated, I just didn't have the right path to do those things. I didn't know how it was going to come about. So I've accomplished those goals, and God used my personal story as an individual, as a husband, as a dad, to be relatable to the community. Because just like you stated, oftentimes black men don't talk about what it means to be depressed.
Absolutely.
You know,
I struggled decades with that
right,
and everything, and
right,
the issues and the trauma, and it's not a good place to be.
right. Also, when you're talking, I do some marriage counseling sometimes. You're talking to, a husband or a wife, and you're saying, my husband, my wife, my king, my queen, that means something. And so when you go to a rural, city or state, you don't call the queen a bitch.
Exactly.
But teaching our young people or our people that hey, words mean something. But my experience has been that at one point in time, my phone rang all the time. People were texting me, giving me phone calls when to hang out. But then when I'm by myself in my office, it's the most precious time when God gives me these solutions to what's going on. And so God has used my personal situations to mold me to be an advocate, for Rise Shreveport, to be the face of Rise Shreveport, to tell you, brother, you can get through it. You can fight for you. To say, hey, this marriage can't work, if you put the work in. Everything won't be easy. And we like handouts. We like easy money.
Okay.
But in order to be successful,
quick gratification.
In order to be truly happy, you have to put the time in. And so fighting for you teaches you, hey, this means time. This means effort. This means sacrifices. And in due time, I'll get those things.
So you knew when you got your degree, working in IT, you knew deep down inside that was not where it was for you.
I did not know that. That's what's
so
amazing about it.
Okay, talk to me.
The story unfolds continually. The story unfolds. It's again, the way God, creates. So listen to this. You don't always know everything because sometimes you're not ready for it.
Absolutely.
I often wonder why, when I first started security guard company, why I wasn't successful. But mentally, I wasn't ready for those things. And so again, when you have a spiritual connection, God blesses you according to what you can handle. And so you have to realize that these are things I desire, but it may not come that way for you. I wanted to be an IT analyst. That's what I wanted to do in life, and God did give me that. He granted me those requests. However, that wasn't my end goal.
Okay.
And so I had to learn how to process those things, and through depression, and being revived again, that's what He taught me and showed me. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Is it a safe assumption to say before you crossed your threshold to find your purpose, you went inside your mind, you weren't ready?
Yes.
And would it be a safe assumption to say that negativity was a key part of it, that you thought you weren't ready, that you thought you weren't good enough to move on to the next stage of your life?
I would have to say no. I think I was just truly blind to the bigger person that God had ordained me to be.
Okay.
I had an idea of who I wanted to be, who I thought I was, and you can relate to this. As men, we're used to being in control.
Absolutely.
I have everything panned out, X, Y, and Z. Well, at some point, I lost control, and so I lost me. And so when I lost me, I'm already married with 4 kids. That's kind of going back to what we talked about previously. That's kind of embarrassing to even admit aloud that I've lost myself. I'm not sure what to do. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of insecurities or whatever. But then hindsight, go ahead.
But you drown in that. You literally are daily. You're drowning in it, and the longer it goes on, the longer it proceeds, it gets worse. It's worse. It gets darker, and it gets darker. And you're talking to your mate when you're not talking to your mate because you don't know how to express yourself. You got to keep up the facade. I am the strongest. I got everything under control. I got too much responsibility for somebody I need to let down.
Right.
And it's only a man who's been through it understands it, because it's scary, and you don't know what to do.
And been there. My biggest picture is fight for you. That's why it's so important, but if I had never gone through those things, I wouldn't have this mindset to tell people why you have to fight for yourself, why it's important to communicate. But also, you have to meet people where they're at. I can't give you a steak if you're only on the breast milk. So I have to meet you where you at. I have to feed you accordingly to help you get better and to help you see why these things are important and why you're doing those things.
When somebody comes in to Rise, take me through the process.
Well, it kind of depends on where I meet you at. So workout with Rise is something that we really push out there. We're pushing out people to be physically healthy because we understand that you can have a heart attack right now and not know about it. We're seeing people die left and right, and to our knowledge, there's no sickness. We don't go to the hospital. So working out with Rise is, we have music there, we have people there, and so it's very exciting. So that's the first thing we do. We introduce you to working out, and sweating and being well. But also at the end of every workout, there's a pep talk, and I'm introducing Fight for You.
Okay.
I'm saying what this means, and how this can be relatable to you, and or your family member. And I'm saying call this number here or email us or after the fact come talk to us. And it's at that moment where people become personal after class, email, they'll text, and they'll call. Or it's at a different event, part of the purpose where we're giving out scholarships the first time to current college students.
Okay.
Or it's with the Fight for Youth Fest.
Okay. With that, how long have you implemented that?
2012.
2012.
Yes, sir.
How many students have you helped with that?
Numerous students, but within the last 3 years, probably 9.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So we give current college students a scholarship,
Okay.
and we try to just kind of pour into them, and that's an introduction to Rise as well. Because again, college life is like the start of you becoming who you're going to be. So instilling into them at that point in time why wellness is so important, why resting, why balance what you eat is important.
It's crucial. It's crucial. Even you leaving home with 18 and you're going to a different environment. It's crucial to have some kind of substance going with you, some kind of standard that hey, I got this in my back pocket that'll sustain me,
Right.
and until I can get back home and get a break and everything.
Correct.
So a lot of people don't realize that. Some go off to school willy nilly. Let's get live.
Right. Fast life. Fast life. Again, Fight for You teaching you the balance of why these things are important. So it all depends on where we meet you at. It may be a financial seminar. We're teaching people, hey, it's important to invest. It's important to save. It's important to ensure that you're paying your bills. And if by chance you're going to use your kids' social security number, make sure that you're paying their bills so you don't mess their credit up. It's all about when we meet you and where we meet you at, how we pour into you. But at the end of the day, we're serving as a resource to ensure that you have some type of success in your life.
What about clients that come to you and you see they're needing some kind of mental health evaluation?
Yes, sir.
What do you have in
So
this stage?
it depends on where they at.
Okay.
We have several people that we partner with that we can say, hey, I'm making call, Mr. Travis, I have somebody I would like to sponsor for a few months, to get them, the needed help they need.
Okay.
But even with those things stated, with mental health, the person has to be receptive to
absolutely.
go. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
Wasting your time,
you're wasting your
time and resources. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So if we notice that somebody's ready for those things, we do reach out. We will sponsor for a few months. We have some people who may even give us some in-kind donations to ensure the person can get the needed help. Yes, sir.
Okay, so when everybody comes in, they can be pockets turned inside out. That's all right.
Yeah, we try our best, to meet them where they at.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, current events. What kind of current events you have coming up at Rise?
Well, we have our Adult Field Day coming up on June the 7th.
Okay.
June the 7th.
Please expound on that.
This is our 4th one.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's amazing to watch these grown adults turn into fourth and fifth graders again. Very competitive. Everybody wants to win. But it's a co-ed teams. 4 guys, 4 ladies. You must be a minimum 19 years of age to compete.
Okay.
It's a $7 charge to get in.
Okay.
We have several events, 4x1 relay. We have sack relays, and we have pizza box relays. It's a good community event. It's a great family event for kids to see their mom, their dad, their grandparents, their aunt, and their uncle out there, doing healthy activities. It encourages health and wellness. We teach you, we expose you to all these things here, and again, we're always saying, fight for you.
Okay.
One of the things you want to have outdoors realize that, hey, don't just prepare for Adult Field Day just one time.
Okay.
Keep this physical activity going on continuously because that's very important for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what is the maximum age that you can get on without coming in jeopardy? Say, you have any senior programs? You got a senior program?
So, in April we always do a senior walkathon where it's geared toward the seniors. But even with the workout with Rise, I don't care what age you are, you can come. Move at your own pace. But for seniors, definitely in April we do a walkathon.
Okay.
We all out there, we're walking. We cater to you as far as, ensuring that we're doing things that you are comfortable doing.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And most of these things are always posted on our website and our social media. Following that, July the 12th, we have a Fight for You Fest. It's going to be at Bill Cochran Park, 4109, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Please give us the date again, please.
July the 12th.
Okay.
And this event is going to be a free 5K. We're going to have free backpack giveaways while supplies last. We'll be giving away college trunks to selected college students.
Okay.
We'll be doing workouts there. We'll have various vendors there as well. And in between each workout section, we're going to do a small speech to teach kids and parents what it means to balance. Like why it's important to have breakfast, why it's important to get the proper amount of sleep,
Okay.
why it's important to ask your kids how their day went. We'll also have things out there, as far as if you need Medicaid assistance. We want to
Okay.
make sure that we expose and educate the community to their needs.
Okay, so that's a full service umbrella underneath Rise. And
Yes, sir.
everything.
For that particular day, we'll have a bounce house out there.
Okay.
We'll have some foods out there as well. We just want to make sure that we're presenting to the community things they may need. Various educational resources, very empowerment things to ensure that your new school year. I could have done terrible last year. It doesn't make a difference. It's a new year. What are my strong points right now to say, I'm going to do better this year? Now I tell people, make you 3 points. Make you 3 points and you work towards those goals. Once you meet those goals, check them off and set 3 more goals. Again, that's part of the Fight for You movement.
Okay. And it's tackling the totality of all what we discussed at this point. What would you like to tell our viewers, the public, about Rise, and what can they do to help?
Well, I would encourage you guys to join the Fight for You movement. No matter what you're going through in life, I know that you can get through it. You can overcome it. It may not be easy, but fighting for you is all about being resilient. If you can't fight for you, you can never become healthy holistically, and you can never rise. I also welcome you to come to Adult Field Day, June the 7th, to follow us on social media, Instagram. Our website is www.riseshreveport.com. Email us at riseshreveport@gmail.com, and we can't wait to see you at our free event, July the 12th, the Fight for You Fest.
Mr. Demarkus Webb of Rise, glad to have you here, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
To our viewers, that concludes another segment of AG. We thank you for stopping in. Have a blessed day.